One more thing. Patrick Dumont needs to know one thing about the firing of Nico Harrison. Fans need to know something else. And you also need to know something about Dirk Nowitzki. Today's Locked On Mavs. One more thing right now.
I'm not a doctor, so.
That's it. It's me versus the machines.
I don't know.
Sotnam change.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
Fired up.
Yeah, welcome. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, covering the Mavs for 10 years. Thanks for being part of the network and being part of this show. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Today's episode, I have a message for fans, for you listening. I have a message for Patrick Dumont, and then I have a thought about Dirk Nowitzki that we'll get into. Well, let's start here. For Patrick Dumont, and I know we've leaned into the bit. It is true. Patrick Dumont has listened to the show. Don't know if he's a part of the Raccoon Squad, an everyday listener, but we know it is confirmed he has listened to the show. Friend of the show, Patrick Dumont, if you're listening, you have fired Nico Harrison. You've moved on from him. The fans chanted it. You heard it. You heard the negativity. You saw the product on the court. You saw the product in the medical room all the time and the players going in and out. You saw everything that has transpired since February when this happened. You've seen all of it. You responded to it. You did all that. And now this is just the beginning. This is the beginning right now. It is not, all right, we fired Nico Harrison and now boom, it's like the end of a superhero movie and the villain is dead. It's like, all right, now you have to clean up the whole rest of it. Like now you have to clean up the whole entire mess, right? Isn't that part of what, there's a couple of shows that are about that. Isn't there part of The Boys where they're like, all right, now you have to clean up the mess that the superheroes made after the fact. Like now you have to clean up all of that. That is the work that starts now. Patrick Dumont gave an open letter to Mavericks fans. And some of it may have been AI generated, but he sent this letter. And I think part of it is good. Isaac will talk about it a little bit later, probably today. But he said, thank you for the support. Thank you for holding us accountable. Thank you for your passion and patience. You deserve transparency. A team that, thank you for holding us accountable is the part that I want to focus on. He didn't have to admit that or say that, holding us accountable, because that is what happens. The franchise goes out and does stuff that they think the fans are going to like, and then the fans hold them accountable for those things. And that is what has happened here. And that letter is fine. You seemingly kind of admitted a mistake, holding us accountable. It's like that little piece that's like, okay, I understand the profound impact these difficult last several months have had. Please know I'm fully committed to Mavs success. All those things like are a little bit of admitting mistake, a little bit firing Nico is admitting mistake, right? There's a little bit here and there. You've kind of semi-admitted a mistake here. But like, if you're Patrick Dumont, you're not off the hook yet. You're not off the hook yet. Sell the team will be the new chant. That will be the new chant that people will lock onto. And it is not because I'm saying it on the show today. It is because I am saying what I've already heard from fans. Because that's the next thing. People know that there are two people involved in the Luka trade. It was Nico Harrison and it was Patrick Dumont that signed it off. And so this is the start now of rebuilding the trust. Learn from all the things that Nico Harrison did wrong through the Luka trade and all that. Being cavalier about it, saying, I know it's my way or the highway. I know better than everybody else. You'll see. We'll have a championship team. I knew that what Luka meant to the fans, but I didn't know to this degree. Like all those things were brutal to this fan base. Just felt like a knife in the back over and over again. So just know that this is the beginning where you start to rebuild the trust with the fans, and that will take time. It will take time. It'll take moves. It'll take like proving to this fan base that you care about what the fans want, what the fans are about. And just be aware that sell the team chants will happen. They will still happen because the fans will always want blood, and then it will just always. And until they feel like justice has fully been served, they will not get it. They will not stop or cease. The other thing, if you're Patrick Dumont, is you need to right now make Cooper Flagg the 2026 first round pick untouchable in trades for the interim GMs. For Michael Finley, for Matt Riccardi, who are now taking over as interim, and maybe they're just there to decide what. To take, to field calls or whatever, or to figure out what the Mavericks are going to do going forward with the new GM, whenever they figure that out. But you've got to make those two things very clear that those are the two pieces in this organization you cannot touch. Max Christie, Dereck Lively, PJ Washington, probably Kyrie Irving. We'll talk about him a little bit later today about his role in all this. But those things are on the fringe of close to being untouchable for me. But you cannot touch Cooper Flagg. You cannot touch the 2026 first round pick. This is the beginning of rebuilding everything, of rebuilding all of this. And I think for fans too, to know that this is the beginning. Just because Nico is gone doesn't mean all of a sudden the team is going to wake up and all of a sudden it's going to be clouds and better again, right? What is it? In the end of The Lion King where Scar gets defeated and it starts raining and all of a sudden all the plants start growing back again? Like, that is not going to happen here immediately. Maybe it will feel like the clouds will part and the sun will come through, but it takes a while for all the vegetation to grow back. And that's what the Mavs have to do right now. You have to grow back the trust of this fan base. And I've talked to many fans that know that they're not coming back. They're done. I felt like every day I saw somebody on the Lakers subreddit say, I'm a Mavs fan. I'm here. I'm following Luka. He was my guy. It took a while for fans to really embrace Luka Doncic. There was a lot from the start, for sure. We on this show were very excited about him and excited about what he was going to bring. And we're on our toes trying to figure out on draft night if they were actually going to go get him. And then they did. And they were like, all right, well, let's see if this guy is good or not. And then we saw very early that he was going to be good. And then eventually they embraced him. But there were still complaints about, he complains to the refs too much and all this. It took a while for them to fully embrace Luka as their guy. He's not Dirk. Dirk would never do that, blah, blah, blah. It took a while for Mavs fans to embrace Dirk too as the guy and to defend him as the guy. Oh, soft Euro, all that kind of talk and stuff. And so it will take time to rebuild the trust with this fan base. You're basically starting from scratch right now. Now you are starting with Cooper Flagg, which I think is a massive advantage. You're starting with a guy like Kyrie Irving, who the fans already trust, know, and love. PJ, a guy that the fans already know, trust, and love. So you are starting with a very good position in that way. But also know that you were part of that trade too. And building trust will start with how you approach this next section here. No press conference. Okay. Open letter. All right. We'll see what happens. Coming up, message for the fans. This is uncharted territory. And I'm going to tell you why. Coming up, Locked On Mavs. One more thing continues next. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook, all kinds of props and odds and things you can use to get in on the action. Go check out and see what they have available. The Mavs, finals odds. Did I talk about them? I think I talked about those earlier today. Plus 6,000. Haven't really moved at all on that one. Still ahead of the Heat. Still ahead of the Bulls and a couple of these other teams. Any teams really moved up? I don't really think so that they've moved up. All kinds of things you can check out on Game Time. And let's see if the Mavs tomorrow game is not up yet because it's just so in flux with everything. But if you're a new customer with FanDuel and you think that something is going to happen, absolutely. Go ahead and put down $5 on it. You can win $300 in bonus bets if that bet wins. So you get whatever you win and then plus the $300. That's awesome. So go check it out. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Please gamble responsibly. Also brought to you by Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile's favorite word is no. A lot of Mavs fans' favorite word was fire and Nico together. Mint Mobile's favorite word is no. Because if you're overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no fees, no BS. You can just say yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. They make it simple. All their plans come with this. High-speed data, unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone and keep your same number in contacts, which is a game changer in the last, 15 years. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch to fit at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes, fees, extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Almost got through that one. It's the One More Thing, a bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. If you missed our instant reaction episode from Nico Harrison getting fired, Isaac's headgear, and all that, you can go check out that wherever you're listening, watching this. And we'll have more episodes throughout. We'll have another show tonight. We'll be following this and watching everything the Dallas Mavericks do. We're here 5 days a week. So subscribe. Let's help get us to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I have a message for fans now. Let's move on to that side of it. For you, the fan, this is uncharted territory for the Dallas Mavericks. Since 2000, it was Mark Cuban at the helm, and you knew how Mark Cuban operated after a while, right? There were concerns. I remember all the frustrations about Mark Cuban, when he was in charge of everything, the decisions he made, the times that he meddled, and all those things. And I'm sure all of you, if you're old enough as a fan, you remember all those things. Remember Giannis, remember Tyson Chandler, remember all the different things. We don't know how Patrick Dumont operates. We don't know how this new ownership group operates when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks. We've seen a couple things. We've seen that they're willing to make massive moves, willing to make huge moves. The Luka Doncic trade was a massive, huge move. If you buy that team and you know that Luka Doncic is that good, maybe he didn't know he was that good. Maybe you got to know that he's that important to this franchise. And you sign off on a move like that, then you're a person that is willing to make big moves. They also went out and got Rick Welts to be the CEO of the Mavericks on the business side because they want to make a big move and they want to make this big arena and casino, resort, and all that kind of stuff. So that's another big move that they wanted to make. And so they'll take big swings. So I'm curious to see how they're going to take this big swing. But if you're a fan, this is uncharted territory for the Dallas Mavericks. In the same way that I talked about for Patrick Dumont, it is just the beginning. It's just the beginning for your experience as well. This is the end of Avengers. Like, I'm combining Civil War and New York right here. Like, imagine at the end of Avengers New York, like the first one, they're like New York is destroyed by the aliens, right? The Chitauri come, they destroy all of it, and it's all devastated. But then out of it, you get Spider-Man because he comes in the Civil War movie, right? So, and then Spider-Man is there in New York, and you get other things from it. This is where we are. New York has been destroyed. The Avengers are scattered in different places. Like the Mavs still have Kyrie. They still have Anthony Davis. It's like, okay, those are some of the Avengers. You still have PJ and Lively. Okay, you have some of the Avengers here and there. But now you get Spider-Man. All right, now Spider-Man can lead the franchise because Spider-Man is popular. Spider-Man is great. All that based here. And you've got him for the next run. Are they going to handle it like the MCU has handled those movies? Because it's just the beginning. You're building something. And it's going to take a while. Because they're starting from a place of two timelines, basically. You have the Cooper Flagg timeline with Lively and with Max Christie and the 2026 first round pick, whoever that is. You've got that timeline. Then you have the timeline with Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, like in this older timeline too. And you're trying to strike a balance between the two of them, and it's very hard to do. And I was optimistic about it all summer. I was like, oh man, I think that they can make this work, just be good enough. I didn't expect them to be top 4 in the West or anything like that. I expected them to be sixth, fighting for a play-in spot. I think there was a scenario where they could have been up to 2 because of just the West can be so tight. But man, the way that they've started to play, like it is going to take a little while for them to get back to where they are. We don't know what kind of owner Patrick Dumont is now that he's not beholden to whatever Nico Harrison decides, which is what it seemed when he first joined as the Dallas Mavericks owner. My last thing here about Dirk Nowitzki, and we may do this more. I'm seeing this a couple places from some fans. From our text line, you can get that in the QR code and link in the description. And you get texts from us on all kinds of rumors and stuff. I've seen this from our text line. I've seen this from comments. I've seen this from texts from friends and things. Do not hire Dirk Nowitzki as the GM. Do not make him do that. Because remember what happened back to Jerry West with the Lakers. There was a falling out, and Jerry West wanted nothing to do with the Lakers for the rest of time. And that is not a scenario that you want to be in as a fan. To put the face of the franchise, to do that, to make those decisions, and then make unpopular decisions, and then become a pariah, become a villain, become somebody that you hate. That is not something that you want. Don't put that on him, because he is our perfect sports hero, exactly the way he is. Let him go hang out with do the Amazon Prime job. But do not hire Dirk Nowitzki as the GM. That is the one thing that I would say. I don't think you as a fan want that, because think about what it could bring. Think about maybe how you feel about Jason Kidd at some points. Maybe you loved him as a player, won the title in 2011 for the Mavericks, was there with the 3 J's early, and then in the 90s for the Mavericks. But then when he's the coach, all of a sudden you're like, now you're hating. Maybe you hate Jason Kidd at certain points of this tenure. You don't want that for Dirk Nowitzki. They do need to mend fences with Dirk Nowitzki. That's honestly the first thing that Patrick Dumont needs to do, is mend fences with Dirk Nowitzki and find a way to get him to be a part of this in some way, shape, or form. That's all I got to say about that. We'll have more. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And this is just the beginning. So stick with us on Locked On Mavs, because we'll chart every single part of it. Check the links in the description, different ways to follow the show. The text line is one of the best ways to support the show. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.